they will be sharing some remembrances a little bit later on. But yes, let us go on. Maybe one of the ladies can do. Are you stuck? Yes. Okay. Maybe one of the ladies can. Yeah, maybe Vine and Melanie. Okay. Just hold on a second. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Shall we come through and garland? Yeah, I think behind you. Behind you. I think see him. Yeah.
Carry on. We just come from Glasgow. Some of you were living in the temple in Fruit of the Lamb. There's Mahago, namely Chaitanya Baba, Ramananda, and many others too. And yesterday was Rath Yatra in Glasgow. Next year will be Rath Yatra in Newcastle, is that right?
Yes.
Yes, okay, confirmed. Because it's the only major city probably. Well, there's other two cities or maybe one. Do they have one in Leicester, in Leeds? Leeds have a Rath Yatra? No? What about Sheffield? They have one, don't they?
Sheffield.
Leeds and Newcastle, these are the two major cities that must have a regular Rath Yatra. Every office has. So this is a garland, if you want to call it that. Wow. It's not quite big. It's a garland. And, well, keep it in your garland reception. There's not these garlands too. But maybe, no, one of you ladies. Maybe you're younger, you otherwise it won't be a list. Old reception up in your home. This is Lord Jagannath Garland. All those in favor, put your hand up. What a garland, huh? This is for Chaitanya Bala.
I wanted the big one.
Lord Jagannath Garland for the Rath Yatra yesterday. And Shri Devi Dasi is one of those heroines of ISKCON because through thick and thin, and there's been a lot of things in between. And she is faithful to God has love and teach about, and is still an inspiration for whoever has fortune to get her associated. So I think Lord Jagannath is very cool. And we look forward to Rath Yatra in Accrington very near the future. The streets of Accrington will not know what's going on. At least the streets won't know, the people may not be there, but the streets are there. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Oh, that was good. Okay, this is just for all the kids. All the kids. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And
Great voice, this little fella here.
and now for the big kids. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We're all young at heart, aren't we?
The kids run easily.
So, Thank you very much. So, we're going to be speaking a little bit about, because as I said, we are celebrating or marking two special occasions today. We are marking 60 years of ISKCON, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. But we're not going to speak too much about that because we have other speakers to speak about that. But we're going to speak a little bit about ISKCON Newcastle, because although it's not 30 years of ISKCON Newcastle, ISKCON Newcastle goes back a little further, and Janananda Maharaj will speak a little something about that later, because it was Janananda Maharaj who opened the very first ever temple here in Newcastle. But yeah, temple's quite a generous term, but either way, it was a temple. But we are celebrating 30 years of being in this building. And to also mark that occasion, we are renovating our temple. It's not quite finished now, but I'd like to give a big round of applause to Gopal Vallabhi, to Jendranandan, and the decorating team. Yes, we're on our way there. We have lots of plans for ISKCON Newcastle, and we want all of you to be part of it. Like there was that old poster in the war. We need you. So we need all of you to help us make, like Lord Donald Trump says, make America great again, right? So we want to make not Newcastle great again, but we want to make Newcastle even greater. We can put that on a hat. So this building was actually purchased in December 1996. December the 23rd, 1996. And it was actually very special because it was purchased to honour another special occasion that year. Who knows what was the occasion in 1996? Prabhupada's centennial, that's right. Yeah, Srila Prabhupada was born in 1896, and so we got this building in 1996 to honour Srila Prabhupada's centennial. The temple wasn't actually opened till September 1997 because there was renovations and things to do, but it was opened by the Lord Mayor of Newcastle. So next year, we're thinking of having big festivals for September to celebrate the 30 years of opening, not just acquiring the building. We might try and see if we can get the original Lord Mayor. I don't know if she's still with us, I don't know, but we shall see. And we're going to try and get back some of the devotees who were here at that time. But this building that we are sitting in today was a bank, believe it or not. It was a Lloyd's bank. It had been sitting vacant for some time before we purchased this building, but it was an old bank, and when the devotees moved in here, there was a safe downstairs in the basement. Unfortunately, there wasn't any money in it. I saw Shiva Ramaswamy the other day at the Ratha Yatra, and he said, "Oh, what about that safe?" Because it was so heavy, it was made of like wrought iron, and it had to be hoisted out with a big, mechanical crane. It was, but yes, unfortunately, it wasn't heavy because it was full of Lakshmi. But I thought it was interesting that this building was a bank. Because you could say, well, what's a bank got to do with a temple? Well, actually, I think there's quite some interesting parallels between the previous building and the use of this building now. Because now this is a sacred place. We heard from the class this morning that there are 5 most important items of devotional service. The A, B, C, D, and E of Krishna consciousness. So A is associating with devotees, association. B, Bhagavatam, that means hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. C, chanting what? Hare Krishna. I don't know, England just won the World Cup last night 2-1, so some people are chanting other things, But we're not chanting Go on England. No, they won the quarterfinals. They're into the semi-finals. Anyway, sorry, I've become distracted. But we chant Hare Krishna. We chant Hare Krishna. And D, deity worship. And E, environment. That's existing in a holy place. So this is a holy place. Anywhere where we are hearing and chanting the glories of Krishna, where devotees are congregating to glorify and serve Krishna, that becomes a holy place. But there is a parallel. So what is a bank? Well, a bank is a financial institution which safeguards people's money. You can make deposits and take out withdrawals, and the bank also lends money. So the Hare Krishna movement is also a bit like a bank. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Why? Because ISKCON holds the greatest wealth. Krishna. Krishna is the source of everything. Sava, Karana, Karana. Krishna is described, well, he's not described, he is. He's the husband of the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi. Sometimes people worship Lakshmi Devi because they want wealth. They worship the goddess of fortune. But actually it's described that Lakshmi Devi, she is chanchala. It means she's flickering. She doesn't remain in one place for too long, you know. You get some wealth and then you lose it, you know. You get something and then it comes and it goes. But Lakshmi Devi, she is a chaste wife and she will always reside where her husband is. So if you're Krishna conscious, if you're always Krishna conscious, that means Lakshmi will always be with you. That's not like, okay, that's what I've got to do to be rich. Okay, I want, you know. Because devotees, they can spend any wealth for Krishna's service. Srila Prabhupada, sometimes he was challenged, oh, you're selling so many books, you're making so much money. I see you came here in a Rolls Royce today. One time in Australia, Prabhupada was challenged. Oh, you know, you're a worldwide, you're a leader, you're a guru, so you're supposed to be renounced. But yet we saw that you came here in a Rolls Royce. And Prabhupada said, Guru is the representative of God, Lord Krishna. And Lord Krishna, he travels in a golden chariot made of pure gold, decorated with beautiful gems and jewels. He said, what is this Rolls Royce? Some metal, some tin, some rubber. He said, I say it is not good enough. He said, but because my disciples, they have done the best they could, therefore I have accepted it. So therefore then they said, and Prabhupada said, yes, we can spend all your Lakshmi, we can spend all your wealth. And he was boasting, yes, we are making this much daily from selling our books. He said, we can spend all of the world's Lakshmi. But what for? To glorify and to serve Lord Krishna. So yes, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness is the supreme bank because it holds the greatest wealth, Lord Krishna. And sometimes banks, they go bust, like there was the financial crisis in 2008. What was it called? The credit crunch or something. Anyway, like that. But this bank will never go bust. This is ever increasing. Anandam Buddhi Vardhana. It's never going to go bust. And this bank of ISKCON, it will lend you money. It will give you pure devotional service. And pure devotional service is so, if you have pure devotional service, you can purchase Krishna. Right? Okay, you may have £1 million. What can you buy with £1 million? You know, I won't ask. We've probably all got different ideas. If someone gave me £1 million, I would like to think I'd spend it in Krishna's service. But I'd probably, a bit for me, a bit for Krishna. Yeah, Krishna, there's £100, you know. Here's the rest for me. But by devotional service, pure devotional service, you can purchase Krishna. He is known as Bhakta Vatsala. It means that he is conquered by the love of his devotees. One name for Krishna is that he is Ajita. What's that? You're going to give £10 million?
Yeah.
Where's your dad? Does he know about this? He's been keeping that to himself.
If I was given £10 million, I would give for £10 million to Krishna.
Jai! There you go. Okay, let's hope Keshavamurti comes into some money. So, yes, back to Vatsala. This is one of Krishna's greatest qualities, that he has conquered. Ajita means he is unconquerable. But he is conquered by the love of his devotee. Back to Vatsala. And you get brilliant interest rates in this bank. You know, sometimes, the interest rates, or, you put your money in an ISA, you might get 3% interest rate or something. But if you deposit just a tiny amount of devotion within the Hare Krishna movement to service to Lord Krishna, it comes back exponentially. It is described that if you take one step towards Krishna, Krishna will take 1,000 steps towards you. Now that's interest. Just a tiny amount, 1 paisa of faith. You put in 1 paisa of faith, and you get everything. Krishna gives you everything. And yes, and we can withdraw. And the greatest withdrawal we get is love of God. Prema Pramata Mahan. With money we can buy so many things in this world, One, two, and poison. Everyone wants wealth to spend on different things. At least we want to be able to pay the bills and pay the mortgage. But with Prema Pramata Mahan, this is the greatest thing you can get. Pure love of God. So, yes, ISKCON Newcastle came to, Krishna consciousness came to Newcastle in the early 80s. Was it 81, Maharaj?
Well, yeah, right at the very beginning of 81.
The very beginning of 81. Maharaj will speak a little bit more about that later. But then, in 1988, the devotees got a place on Lees's Park Road. There's a restaurant there. You can go. So it was above from the top floor. And the devotees were there for 8 years in Lees's Park Road. And there was brahmacharis there and devotees like Divya Singha. And we're going to try and get hold of these devotees to bring them back next year for the 30th opening of the anniversary, 30th anniversary of the opening of the temple. But yes, like we said, 1996, December the 23rd, this building was purchased and was opened. So therefore 30 years this year. Now what is ISKCON Newcastle? Maybe I can have a show of hands. What is ISKCON Newcastle? Nikunj. A community, very good. Anyone else? What is ISKCON Newcastle? There's no right or wrong answers. Okay, Nikunj. A building, yeah, it is. It's a building, isn't it? Yeah, it's an old bank. Miroslav, what is ISKCON Newcastle?
Chant Hare Krishna.
Chant is a place to come and chant Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So you could say that's the activities. So it's a building, it's a community. So you could say it's ISKCON Newcastle. Is it the building? Is it the devotees? Is it the activities? What else is ISKCON Newcastle?
Prabhupada's home.
Prabhupada's home, yes. Srila Prabhupada's home. And the devotees, they've described that Srila Prabhupada built a house in which the whole world can live. Yeah, Prabhupada's home. What else is ISKCON Newcastle?
A big family.
A big family, yes. Be expensive at Christmas time, right? Having to buy presents for this many devotees. That's okay. When you give someone the holy name, that's also the greatest gift. In Kirtan, we chant Hare Krishna, we give them the holy names. Yes, we're a big family. Yeah. What else is ISKCON Newcastle? Oh, hang on, Savitri at the back. A haven. Yes. Someone look up the dictionary definition of haven for me. It's like a safe place, isn't it? It's like, but someone look up the dictionary of a haven, the dictionary definition of a haven. What else? Thank you, Savitri. A Sunday feast house. Yeah, that's right. It's a place to come and get the best meal in town. Yeah. He's saying that because he's cooked today. Mr. Sharon was very nice. Yeah, what else? Is it a place just, is it Newcastle just here? Or do we do things outside the town? The Kunj. Sankirtan, yeah, what we've been out doing today. We've been out 2 hours sharing Krishna consciousness with the good folk of Newcastle. So tell me, what is a haven?
Sorry, it's asking about my privacy. A safe or peaceful place.
A safe or peaceful place. Very good.
I've also got
Yeah.
a place offering favourable opportunities.
That's nice, isn't it? Favourable opportunities. Because actually in Krishna consciousness, there's unlimited opportunities. Sometimes we say in Krishna consciousness there is no such thing as unemployment. Krishna consciousness movement. Actually, there's a shortage of workers. In the outside world, there's not enough jobs, you know? But here, there's too many jobs and not enough workers. We need more people. There's unlimited service. So there's no unemployment. There's also no starvation in the Krishna consciousness movement. There's always prashad sweets. And there's no insomnia. We're so busy, we can fall asleep at night time within a few seconds. When I used to live in the temple, I used to, you know, I think pretty much after about 30 seconds I was asleep. As soon as my head would hit the pillow, I was so tired. Now my children wake me up. So yes, it is all of these things. It's the building, it's the deities, it's the devotees, it's the activities. Very good, well done, Nat. And it is the mission. The mission also. Because we could also, you know, even if we didn't have the building, we could still have ISKCON Newcastle, right? ISKCON Newcastle isn't just a building. We could have met outside on the green today because it's nice weather. We went out into, today we made ISKCON Northumberland Street was ISKCON Newcastle. ISKCON, you know, Krishna says, I am wherever my devotees are chanting my glories. Like that. So ISKCON Newcastle is more than a building. It's the devotees, certainly, but it's the activities, and it's also the mission. But I would say that ISKCON Newcastle is an embassy of the spiritual world. So if you go to the capital city, in most countries you have an embassy. So in London you have embassies. You can have the American embassy in London. Now, British law doesn't apply in the American embassy. It is non-different from America. Like that. Okay, yes, and also in the capital of Belarus too. Yes. So the embassy is non-different from the host country. So it's the primary base for a country in a foreign nation. And it's non-different, and therefore the laws of America apply in the American embassy. So ISKCON Newcastle is an embassy of the spiritual world. It is an embassy of the spiritual world. It is non-different from the spiritual world. The same laws and the laws of outside are the laws in ISKCON Newcastle. Chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. 16 rounds a day, at least. Follow the 4 regulative principles. Only take Krishna Prasadam. Only speak Krishna Kirtan. Yeah. So these are the laws. And if you don't follow the law, Ramananda was saying this morning in the class, the police used to say, come quietly or we will take you by force. But here we don't say come quietly, we say come noisily, singing. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Come noisily. And we will still take you by force in the nectar of instruction. Srila Prabhupada says, Krishna consciousness is so powerful that once having begun, you will be forcibly dragged to success. But actually, we don't really want to be dragged. We want to come voluntary, you know, singing Hare Krishna. And not only is this an embassy of the spiritual world, that means we are all ambassadors of the spiritual world. The ambassador of the Queen is non-different from the Queen. The ambassador, the King, sorry. I'm a bit, Sometimes when you join the Krishna conscious, when you join the Krishna consciousness, you get frozen in time. So all your examples are from things. So I sometimes say, a car doesn't drive by itself. I would give that example. The body is just like a vehicle. And of course, a car doesn't drive by itself. And then I would give a joke and say, unless it's Knight Rider. Now, many of you won't even know what Knight Rider is, because I'm from a different era. But of course, nowadays, cars do drive by themselves. You get a Tesla, so, your examples get a bit out of date, I would say, like, the world's strongest man, Jeff Capes. Or, the greatest snooker player, Steve Davis. Yeah, don't worry if you've never heard of these people. I was born in 1980. So the point is, we are ambassadors, so we're not ambassadors of the Queen, the ambassadors of the King, but we are ambassadors of Srila Prabhupada, we are ambassadors of Lord Krishna. We are representatives. And I don't want to speak too long, but there's a really nice verse here from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So I'm just going to read this quickly to give some context as to what ISKCON Newcastle is. So this is from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Anjalita, chapter 4, text 144. Sanatan Kahib Bala Koila Upadesh Tahanyaba Saibora Prabhudatta Desh. Sanatan Goswami replied, "You have given me very good advice. I shall certainly go there, for that is the place the Lord has given me for my residence." Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki. The words Prabhudat Desh are very significant. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's devotional cult teaches one not to sit down in one place, but to spread the devotional cult all over the world. The Lord dispatched Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami to Vrindavan to execute and renovate the holy places, and from there established the cult of Bhakti. Therefore, Vrindavan was given to Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami as their place of residence. Similarly, listen, everyone in the line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's devotional cult, it's interesting Prabhupada uses this word cult, devotional cult, should accept the words of the spiritual master and thus spread the Krishna consciousness movement. They should go everywhere, to all parts of the world. Durham, Newcastle, Sunderland, Saltburn, Bishop Auckland, no, where do you live? Hartlepool. Redcar, that's right, Redcar. Should go to all parts of the world, accepting those places as their Prabhudat Desh, the places of residence given by the spiritual master or Lord Krishna. Okay, we'll just finish this. The spiritual master is the representative of Lord Krishna. Therefore, one who carries out the orders of the spiritual master is understood to have carried out the orders of Krishna or Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to spread the Bhakti cult all over the world. Priti Viti Achi Yata Nagaradi Gram. In every town and village. Therefore, devotees in the line of Krishna consciousness, that's all of us, must go to different parts of the world and preach as ordered by the spiritual master. That will satisfy Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this ISKCON Newcastle, this is our Prabhudat Desh, from which, a base by which we can not only practice, but share Krishna consciousness. This is the essence of Krishna consciousness, as Vaisheshika Prabhu has coined. 1, chant Hare Krishna. 2, teach others. 1, no, much louder. 1, chant Hare Krishna. 1, chant Hare Krishna. 1, chant Hare Krishna. 2, teach others. 2, teach others. 1, chant Hare Krishna. 2, teach others. So both things have to be there. We have to practice and we have to share Krishna consciousness. Not only one. If you only practice, that's not enough. Although if you practice enough, you will get the desire to share it, because you will experience the joy. Susukam kartam avyam. Krishna consciousness is joyfully performed. Now, if you're experiencing something good, what do you do? You automatically tell people. If you've seen a good film on Netflix, we're not advocating that, but whatever it is, or you've been to a good restaurant, or whatever it is, or you've been somewhere nice on holiday, hey, you should go there, it's amazing, you should watch this, it's brilliant. So Krishna consciousness, if we're tasting that the bliss of Krishna consciousness, we automatically want to share it with others. In fact, Jagannath Eshri and I, when we bought our house, we'll finish in a second, when we bought our house, we found out that our house was built in 1896, the year of Srila Prabhupada's birth. So for us, we took this as a sign that Srila Prabhupada and Panchatattva were calling us and saying, you're not just buying a house, but you're declaring to Panchatattva and Srila Prabhupada that we are staying here in the northeast as our Prabhudat Desh. You know, it was a sign. 1896, that's when our house was built. So yes, from here we practice and we share Krishna consciousness. Lord Chaitanya taught three things: Namruchi, Vaishnav Seva, and Jiva Doya. Namruchi means to get a taste for chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vaishnav Seva means we serve the devotees. Advaita Acharya prayed, I am a servant of Lord Chaitanya, a servant of Lord Chaitanya. I am a servant of Lord Chaitanya and a servant of his servants. Gopi Bhatu Kamalayo Dasu Dasu Das. Servant of the servant of the servants. And if you just try this, if we just try this, make an experiment, just try to look to any opportunity to serve the Vaishnavas, that will bring no greater happiness, and that will bring that Nam Ruchi, that taste for the holy name. And when we have a taste for chanting and hearing the holy names, we have a taste for serving the devotees, then Jiva Doya. You want to share that good fortune with others. We want to share. In Krishna consciousness, we are very fortunate. We're not better than anyone else. Sometimes we might become proud, oh, I'm a devotee. These people are non-devotees. Well, firstly, we shouldn't be proud, because it is said that Lord Chaitanya is Patita Pavan. He's come to save the most fallen first. So if you want to be proud of anything, it's because if we want to be proud, we're the most fallen. We're not better, we're just more fortunate. And therefore we have to help others to become fortunate. So that is what ISKCON Newcastle is. It's a place to chant Hare Krishna, to serve the Vaishnavas, but to also share this knowledge with others. One, when you don't sound very convinced, one, two, teach others. Yeah. Information, we get information, that information leads to transformation. There should be a change of heart. We should be losing our attraction for the material world and gaining more attraction for serving the Lord and his devotees. So information, transformation, and then distribution. This is the Krishna consciousness movement. This is ISKCON Newcastle. Panchatattva are residing deities. It is described that they broke open the storehouse of love of God and they distributed it freely to everyone without considering who was fit or who was unfit. So please, all of us, this is our Prabhudat Dash. We need you. ISKCON Newcastle needs you. Srila Prabhupada needs you. Panchatattva needs you to increase the Sankirtan movement. Srila Prabhupada ki. Sri Sri Panchatattva ki. ISKCON Newcastle ki. Nitai Gaura Pramananda. So thank you. I will now invite His Holiness Jandananda Goswami to come, and he will be enlightening us for the next part. Okay, His Holiness Jandananda Goswami ki.
Are you ready? one of Srila Prabhupada's, probably one of his most famous statements on inspiring devotees. And I know for many of you this is not something you're very familiar with, but in the 1970s, there were practically no congregation as we know it now. You were in the temple, or you were not in the temple. And the temple was full of, most of the devotees who were initiated were in the temple. Exceptions, but they were few. And there wasn't very much of a congregation. Even when you came, Risheshri, the congregation of Indians in London was beginning, but it was really not very developed. And practically being a member of ISKCON meant living in the temple, practically speaking.
Otherwise you were a fringy.
You were a
fringy.
A fringy, if you were, that was a creditable term. You were a karmi. Lots of no words. It was a bit more black and white, but the devotees living in the temple during Srila Prabhupada's time were mainly brought up, on the basis of distributing books. Other activities were obviously there, but practically everyone, and Prabhupada, following on with Chaitanya Vallabha's question as to what is the temple, what is ISKCON Newcastle, etc. And then he mentioned about this information,
Information, transformation.
That's dissemination is the word we use. Dissemination. Spreading or sharing this message. The Prabhupada wrote one letter one time, it's a famous letter. Our temples are like bases where we send out our soldiers to drop bombs everywhere. Now, don't take that quite literally. We're not, hopefully, anyway, we're not going to do that kind of terrorism or whatever you call it. But it's sadistic. Prabhupada used this word bomb in terms of the transcendental literature, Srimad Bhagavatam in particular. And I think you have a quote here of 64 Bhagavatam sets, the Bhagavad Purnima, is that right? Chaitanya Vallabha, your mind was taken away.
It was 10 actually.
Huh?
10 was up.
10 sets, so okay. But these are the real, I mean, the most transformative weapon, you could say. Non-evasiveness, and it's really amazing. Book distribution. Everyone, this is going to be very difficult for me. You know, you've got me going, I'm afraid. I'll have to backtrack here. I'm not going to touch my subject, which you've given me. We could talk all night on that subject, what to speak of this book on. But anyway, this distribution of books. So, if you want to feel Prabhupada's presence, the temple is a place where people can take shelter of Srila Prabhupada. And if you want to feel Prabhupada's presence, or feel his association, there's nothing easier than to take his books and share them with others. You know, you can know me by reading them, but we can get his association by distributing them. It's so sweet. Yeah, we may not be going on the streets. Anyway, we'll come to that later. We're going to start this little. We've changed their presentation 3 times since they arrived, and because of the circumstances. So we're going to now tell me, what is the most important thing? The letter of the law or the spirit of the law? You know the statement? Letter of the law or the spirit of the law? Pardon? What do you think? Anyone have another idea? Letter. Okay, you're a good writer. Letters. Anyone else?
I think the spirit of the law. The spirit of the law.
The spirit of the law. Okay, it seems like the majority goes for the spirit of the law. I mean, what's the purpose of law? Yeah?
To make rules and regulations to keep people in harmony.
Yeah, what a nice answer, isn't it? What a beautiful answer. Thank you, young man. What's your name? Nikunj. What is it? Nikunj. Well, beautiful answer, beautiful name. Thank you. So the spirit, to establish there's a purpose behind the laws, isn't there? There's a purpose behind the rules and regulations, isn't there? What is the purpose behind all the rules and regulations that Prabhupada has? Because they're not new. I mean, they're known to millions and millions of people in India particularly. But what's the purpose of these rules and regulations? Isn't of course the only one who knows anything around here. And now we've spoken enough. Anybody else?
To maintain the discipline.
To maintain what? Discipline. Okay, what's the purpose of maintaining discipline? Let's go a little deeper. These are not wrong. And there's a fact. There's a fact in everything there is. Something a little bit more deeper. Peaceful life, okay. Who from Red Card? Really?
To make the distinction between animal life and human life.
To make a distinction between animals and humans. Okay, that's another, you would say, we expect to be there with rules and regulations, so not all of them seem to do that, but that would be a good one. Anything else? Huh? Build your character. We're not going very deep here. Anyone else got any suggestions? You're from Manchester, aren't you? I've seen you in Manchester. You were a voice of Manchester.
He's not, he's ISKCON Newcastle now.
Huh?
This is his
What are you
propaganda.
doing here? Get back to Manchester. You get ruined up here. It's just with your good friend Drew. You're Drew, right? We spent a lot of time here just now. Okay, Nicole, no one else knows what they're talking about here. Come on. Yeah, what a simple answer. Simple as pie, to become Krishna conscious. Isn't that the idea? Everything else, what's his character? What does it mean, character? What animal or human? We're not animals and humans, are we? I don't think so. Maybe we got it all wrong. I thought we weren't, but we were spirit souls or something. What else is there? To become Krishna conscious is to awaken our Krishna consciousnesses. Maybe you should ask him to give class next.
Yeah.
Is he with you?
We're friends.
Good friends.
This is his dad here, Shravan.
Where's your dad?
And his mum.
Put your hand up, Dad. Oh, there he is.
And mum's at the door.
Where's Mummy? There she is. Haribo. Well, congratulations. So anyway, without any further ado, there's another side to the spirit. Now, when we talk of a mission, which was what we heard about just now, this is a mission. You know, this is a revolutionary mission. I mean, there was no question of a spirit, Vaishnav, that's a nice word. Vaishnav, institution for spreading Krishna consciousness. Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj introduced this in a formulated way for the purpose of disseminating the teaching of Krishna consciousness to others, or the facilitating of their possibility of taking it on, or accepting it. So Srila Prabhupada took that further and spreading it all over the world. Now we had to adjust it a little bit because what is favorable, we can read this, there are many things in India which are not really, from the point of view of rules and regulations, applicable in the same exact way as they are in other places around the world. Prabhupada writes it, he says, that which is applicable in India may not be applicable in the Western world. And the Acharya has to be dexterous, what can we say is dexterous, but he has to be mature and advanced enough to understand what will be affected in different places in order to achieve the purpose. And the purpose is what? She's the only one who knows anything. Embarrassing. You should all be very embarrassed, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what the president teaches you here. Maybe he's just teaching you the purpose is to make money and distribute books. I don't know what he's teaching. But the purpose behind everything is to become Krishna conscious. I think the love Krishna is, synonymous in one sense, in reality. So, Prabhupada did adjust things. Now, that was based on a very deep principle. It wasn't based upon show. It wasn't based upon chance. It wasn't based upon pride. It wasn't based upon any mundane expertise, as some idiots say. It was based upon a principle, and we're going to go into that principle of how that's evoked, how it happens. It doesn't happen by, mental endeavor or intellectual pursuits or speculation or voting or forming an institution which is required. The purpose of the institution, we know, is to disseminate the knowledge or the practice and the ultimate goal of Krishna consciousness. But there's another thing with that. It's the spirit involved. This is not a mechanical movement. This is a movement of spirit. It's a movement of personality. It's not about moving things. It's not about moving temples. It's not about building temples. It's not about numbers. It's not about all these things which may be visible and they may happen alongside it. But it's the actual consciousness. So we're going to start now with this, and we're going to then... How are you giving me 40 minutes? This would not be possible. Because you want to know about the first temple. Who wants to know about the first temple in Newcastle? Anyone? Not many. Not enough. That would take at least 6 hours just for a brief analysis. Yeah, he's ready for it. It's not going to happen in 10 minutes, I'll tell you. Now, wow, there's another sadhu. Whoa. And I can keep it. And this is a painting of the first temple in Newcastle, by the looks of it. Maybe you were there in a different body. Yes, now we know. I've had quite a few of those people who came to the first temple definitely are in different bodies right now. If they haven't gone back. That's a beauty, isn't it? It looks like a raft car. Is it a raft car or what is it? Temple?
What is it, Miroslav? What have you drawn?
Should I throw it?
Huh? Oh, look at that. Thank you. What's your name?
Miroslav.
Miroslav. Miroslav. Thank you, Miroslav. Wow, what a wonderful interaction. Thank you so much. I've got this enormous book of about 500 different similar paintings around the world that young devotees give me. I keep them all. I've got a whole file. Maybe one day someone can make a book of it. Interesting. Some of them they're all interesting. Now, well, you have to put your name on, otherwise I'll never know. Can someone put the name on? Can you put your name on it? Can you put your name on the bottom?
Already wrote it.
Is it there? Oh, there it is at the top. Okay, so we're going to carry on. Ready? Thank you. Yeah, we'll go on all night, but first time we'll start, and it fits into some of the things you were saying. It fits into some of the things which were mentioned here by what's his name? Alan, as Prabhupada would call him, Alan Ginsberg. He called him Alan Ginsberg. His name's Alan Ginsberg, but Prabhupada used the name Ginsberg. And if you know what I don't think Prabhupada did that purposely. I think it was just, But the word gin, anyone who likes gin? Hands up, who likes gin. Hands up, how many of you like gin? Come on, red crowd, they must have gin in there. No? You don't like gin? What's wrong with you? You don't give them gin here on the feast?
That's for Nityananda Trayodasi.
Huh?
We get that out for Nityananda Trayodasi, the gin.
Nityananda Trayodasi. And Christmas Eve. New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve. Yeah, if you don't know what it is, it's a form of intoxication. And Alan, Prabhupada say Ginsberg, a great soul, by the way, he did so much service for this mission. Incredible. Believe it or not, I mean, he was a little attracted to these type of things. Anyway, a few other things too. But anyway, on that aside, he did great service. And he was one of the key people in the early days in New York when Prabhupada came. Welcome, everybody. Well, thank you for coming, everyone. And anyway, a little bit akin to what he was saying, plus the spirit, which we're now going to try to share. We need a very good harmonium player. A good harmonium player. Where you go? Toilet? No, maybe. Okay, quick, be quick. We're going to sing a song now. Now, where's our basu? Where's basu? I want to sing this. We need a good Madonna player. Where's a good reed player? Okay, one of you guys. Huh? What? Okay, no problem. Do it in one shot. And I'd like some cartels if you don't mind. We're going to see, because as I mentioned just now, the Spirit. Now, we have our incorporation document ISKCON, which I could also go through. Before the incorporation document ISKCON, the incorporationist, Prabhupada compiled another document, not incorporation, what was it called now? Not the incorporation. He gave it, actually when it was submitted for incorporation, Prabhupada didn't call it the incorporation document. I can't remember. He called it something else. And then it was established as the incorporation document. And in that other document, Prabhupada included several other factors, which are not included in the incorporation document, and which may be considered or deemed not so essential, but they're also there in Prabhupada's original document. So we won't have time to go there. What was it called now? Huh? Something word very similar. It began with I, but I've forgotten what it was. Anyway, never mind, doesn't really matter. But it was a document Prabhupada submitted. So everything was based upon everything Prabhupada does and did and still does do. It's really based on a foundational principle. It's not a matter of executing certain do's and don'ts. That's required. But that in of itself is not enough. We're not machines. To disseminate this mission of Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada did not have a magic formula. In fact, when he came to the Western world, he said, I do not know how these people will accept even the basic rules and regulations that we follow. It will not be possible. As soon as they hear this, they will tell me, Swamiji, go away. And in fact, nobody was interested in that in of itself. Prabhupada didn't use that. It wasn't even, let's say, just chanting the mantras. It wasn't even distributing the books. All this is related. What was the real key? What's the real key? What's the real key to Krishna consciousness? Practice and spreading. What's the key?
Having the mercy of Lord.
Yeah, it's the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Everything is that, no doubt, based on that mercy. But for the individual's own position, yes, you could say that also, absolutely. We'll take it one step further.
Humility.
The total humility. And that humility means total dependence on the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, Guru and Garanga. Total dependence. Completely surrender to their will. So that is the real foundation of the movement, if you want to look at it from a point of view of its development, growth, etc. To the degree that we are allowing that, or we're willing to place ourselves in that position of being. Just how was the Battle of Kurukshetra won? How was it won? Don't tell me because Arjuna's Akshahini's and his arrows killed this one and that one.
Depending on Krishna.
It's total, depends on Krishna, manifest by his words. Now I must all surrender unto you, kindly instruct me. And at the end he says, now all my doubts are removed. I'm willing to act according to your desire. Completely. There's no, oh, I like this, I want this, I want it this way. I think it should be like that. According to Krishna's desire. That was Prabhupada. So we're going to sing this song now. In many ways, although we have our incorporation document as guidelines, practical implementations, constitution, word Prabhupada, the constitution of ISKCON. He wrote the document himself. The Constitution, not the incorporation, but the Constitution document, he called it. And that was transformed to a large degree into the incorporation document. We talk about a constitution, and there's been a heck of a lot of effort to make a constitution, but Prabhupada wrote the constitution document, and of course there's a lot more added in there. But the real thing of the constitution, this movement, is the spirit. It's Prabhupada's spirit. That's what this movement's going on. Not mine, yours, this one, this technique, that technique, this new course, that new course. All good and well, but without that spirit, they're like an empty husk of rice. No life there. Maybe a little bit of everything you do in life, you get some feeling from it. But that's not the point. The point is a relationship with Krishna. Complete dependence on Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy descendants. Okay, we ready to go, Vasu? Is it on the screen? Vasu, are you there? Is it on the screen?
It's on the screen.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. If you can't, you may have to move this. There's a pot plant. Yes, he's trying to follow the song. It's kind of coming out from the screen. So this is the first thing. Now bear this in mind. Markandeya Bhagavat Dharma means preaching the message of Krishna consciousness in America. That's the literal meaning of these words. Prabhupada was alone in September 1965 in Boston. September the 17th, and then on the 18th he compiled this song. In the morning, his first thing that he wrote when he reached America. And that in of itself obviously contains a lot of significance. The very first writings of Srila Prabhupada in America, isn't it? Incorporation came a year later. It's such a massive topic. I've got PowerPoint presentation in themselves would take 3 hours to go. So we're not going. So we're going to try to sing this song. Now it's a unique, and I want you to enter into the spirit of Prabhupada's dependence. In fact, we will give you this first of all. My dear Lord Krishna, you were so kind upon this useless song. But I do not know, we heard that in the video, I do not know why you brought me here. Now, you can do whatever you like with me. Now just imagine Prabhupada is sitting alone in his cabin. In the ship, what was the name of the ship? That might be one of the questions that's asked later. Just to give you a clue. Just to give you a clue. Write it down in case you Jaladuta. Which means, you know what that means? The messenger of the water that crosses the water. How Krishna arranged it. But I guess, Prabhupada, imagine him alone, just contemplating this impossible task. Nearly impossible. Alone in that cabin, after a 6-7 week journey. He wrote this. This is the translation. But I guess you have some business here. He's addressing this to Krishna, don't forget. He's talking to Krishna. Otherwise, why would you bring me to this terrible place? Who would say like that? America. Every Indian would do anything under the sun to get there. But Prabhupada said, why have you brought me to this terrible place? Most of the population here is covered by the material modes of ignorance and passion. Absorbed in material life, they think themselves happy and satisfied, and therefore they have no taste for the transcendental message of Vasudeva. I do not know how they will be able to understand it. Listen to those words. Listen to those words. We may think, oh, I can't do that. Prabhupada is saying, I do not know how they will be able to understand it. Don't think it was Prabhupada in the sense of how we see it. It is.
Anyway, it's because he is completely dependent on his Guru Maharaj and Krishna. They're working through him. This is a charya. They're not like some, good karma yogi. But I know your causeless mercy can make everything possible because you are the most expert mystic. How will they understand the bellows of devotional service? Oh Lord, I'm simply praying for your mercy so that I will be able to convince them about your message. This is the real spirit of a mission or the movement of Krishna consciousness. It has nothing to do with karma or the ways and means of the material world or your expertise, whatever. This is the essence of, you could say, our attitude of being an instrument. All living entities have become under the control of the illusory energy by your will. Because we wanted to, therefore Krishna placed us here. We can't come on our own. Without his will, we can't even come here. And by your will, they can also be released from the clutches of illusion. We can't get out of here by our effort. It's simply when the Lord wills. Many things involved in that. I wish that you may deliver them. It's the mood of the devotee. I want, please, my Lord, please deliver them. Therefore, if you so desire their deliverance, then only will they be able to understand your message. The devotee feels helpless, unqualified. The words of Srimad Bhagavatam are your incarnation. And if a sober person, as we just heard, people so intoxicated material can't understand this message. Sober person, when is able to hear, repeatedly receives it with submissive oral reception, then he will be able to understand your message. It's understanding the message. This is how it works. It is said, Prabhupada says in Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma Super Soul in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee, who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous, when properly heard and chanted. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam, and by rendering a service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. It was still so a little bit in touch with the material energy, maybe some flickers, clouds in the clear sky are always going to be there, but practically to them, they're not interested. It's interesting that Ramananda gave a class on the 5 most potent limbs of devotional service this morning. That's exactly what the class in Karan Bhavan was about this morning. Same topic, exactly. Wasn't it? Same topic. We read Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 22, Madhya Lila, Lord Chaitanya's teachings to Sanatana Goswami about devotional service, and those were the verses we read about the 5 limbs of devotional service, which are most potent. Even a little execution of one of those can achieve the greatest goal of going back to Godhead. And this is to us, hearing the message of Bhagavatam in the association of devotees by regular attendance. And loving service unto the personality of God, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as irrevocable fact. As soon as irrevocable, that means no turning back, devotional loving service is established in the heart, the effects of nature's modes of passion and ignorance, such as lust, desire, and hankering, disappear from the heart. Then the devotee is establishing goodness, and he becomes completely happy. Not temporarily happy by some result, but always happy. Thus established in the mode of unalloyed goodness, the man whose mind is being enlivened by contact with devotional service to the Lord gains positive scientific knowledge of the personality of God in the stage of liberation from all material association. Thus the knot in the heart is pierced, and all misgivings are cut to pieces. The chain of fruitive actions is terminated when one sees the self as master, and that's not a topic we can go into at this moment of time, it's another subject. He will become liberated from the influence of the modes of ignorance and passion, and thus all inauspicious things accumulated in the core of the heart will disappear. How? Now he follows his own heart. Oh Krishna, how will I make him understand this message of Krishna consciousness? I'm very unfortunate, unqualified, and the most fallen. Therefore I'm seeking your benediction so that I can convince them, for I'm powerless to do so on my own. Oh Lord, you have brought me here to speak about you. Now, my Lord, it's up to you to make me a success or failure, as you like. Please put your mobiles to rest. O spiritual masters of all the worlds, I can simply repeat your message. So if you like, you can make my power of speaking suitable for their understanding. Only by your causeless mercy will my words become pure. I'm sure that when this transcendental message penetrates their hearts, they will certainly feel engladdened and thus become liberated from all unhappy conditions of life. Oh Lord, I am just like a puppet in your hands. The devotee voluntarily places himself in this position. So if you brought me here to dance, then make me dance. Make me dance, O Lord. Make me dance as you like. I have no devotion, nor do I have any knowledge, but I have strong faith in the holy name of Krishna. I have been designated as Bhakti Vedanta. And now if you like, you can fulfill the real purport of Bhakti Vedanta. Signed, the most unfortunate, insignificant beggar, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, on board the ship Javaduta, Commonwealth P. Boston, Massachusetts, USA, dated 18th of September, 1965. Hare Krishna. In many ways we can say this is the real constitution of this, founded on this principle. Everything else is according, but this is the real spirit of this, found in this poet of Srila Prabhupada. He encapsulated all essential ingredients to actually enact the incorporation. So we'll try to sing now with all our hearts. What is that recurring sound that keeps coming?
Is it the cars going past?
Pardon?
It's a door. So why you stop?
Pardon? I don't think so. Anyway, whatever it is, I guess what it is. Maybe that's the wrong one. So many sounds, confusing world, isn't it? There's so many disturbances in this world, isn't it? Can you imagine, 5,000 years ago in the forest of Naimishranya when the Bhagavatam was spoken? Sri Goswami speaking. He never had a microphone. You know how many people were listening? In human bodies, 88,000. All sat there, listening with rapt attention. Every one of them heard it with rapt attention. Not possible. How can that be? Here's that sound. What is it? Pump.
Yeah, the six
Pump.
downstairs, pump.
The pump. Pumping water. Okay. So many things in this age. They never had pumps like that made noises. There was silence. Even the birds stopped singing. The leaves stopped rustling. The wind stopped blowing. Complete silence. No mobiles. Nothing. Just Sutta Swami and sages sat in this big, whatever, field there in Naimishrana, holy place, listening raptly to the sound of the Bhagavatam. No interference, either in their minds or in the ether. We have two things. The ether is surcharged with so much unbelievable disturbances in this day and age. Stop them to tell them to stop using water. They're disturbing us. What can you do? Nothing. And their minds were not disturbed. We've all got one thing after the next, isn't it? Never ending. It's like a blooming bombs going off left, right, and centre in our minds. That's not the mind even. This is that one, the brain. That's turmoil. But this one down here is like, I'm just so disturbed. But whatever. This is the remedy. We will now sing Makane Bhagavat Dharma, preaching Krishna consciousness. Well, we could let's say I don't know the Sanskrit word for Newcastle. You could transform it, put a word there for Newcastle. Find out what the Sanskrit word is for Newcastle. Well, that's pretty easy. You should know. Newcastle. What's castle in Sanskrit? Castle. Sure. Huh? Like the word. Huh? Huh? Nava? No, that sounds like a house. A castle. Castle. You have to have a fortress castle. What's a fort? Place where your soldiers are. They fight from there. I'm sure you'll find out. You can put it into context. Okay, ready? Are you ready? Yes! Ready. Who's the Madonna? Oh, yeah, we do. Frontliners here. Frontliners. Try your best to follow. And let's go give you one other part of the test. You have to memorize this song, right? That's the test. Kila, kila, ileka, orotebeka, kila, kila, last note goes down. Nahe kino ani Vasudeva Satyamti Namete Jaya Well, what can I say? That's it. I mean, we haven't started what I was going to talk about. Didn't even mention anything about it. I did a schedule. We've already way over time. I won't take, if you want to give me 10 minutes, I'll briefly mention ISKCON terror stuff. So I'll hand over to whoever next. Ramanda, you next? Who's next? First of all, who's the MC?
Well, we could do either round next, or we could get Rasheshri and yourself to Rasheshri, and then yourself to do some, remembrances.
Why don't we do that now? Is that okay? Are you okay with that? Come and sit up here.
Yeah.
Bring your chair. And I'm not going to give anything about remembrance to Srila Prabhupada, because this movement is my remembrance to Srila Prabhupada. What you're doing right now is remembrance to Srila Prabhupada. When you talk about the past time, we also have to live in the present. And what's going on now is Prabhupada's present. So anyway, we have the past time. ISKCON. Who knows where ISKCON Terrace is? Put your hand up. ISKCON Newcastle. ISKCON. Where is that? Jazz Mom! Haven't got time. I could read. It's a letter from Mandagorio, an offering, which was given to me by Chaitanya Vallabha just now. His name is Isha Avatar. I don't know if any of you know Isha Avatar. He wasn't the first one who joined there, but he was just the second. His name was Ian. He worked in the government office, and he joined the temple there. Well, temple, as I said, was, what was the word he used? It was a bit of a credit. No, it wasn't the word he used. But yes, ISKCON Terrace. It's Jasmine's quite a well-to-do area of Newcastle, normally. That area turned into more or less a lot of student hostels, quite close to the union. So I came here right at the beginning of January. January is quite cold here in Newcastle. I came here on my own, completely alone. Nobody. I had no penny to my name. I had nothing. I knew nobody in this area whatsoever. Absolutely no one. Now spirit. We're talking about spirit. This is Prabhupada. This is how we came to New York. This is how we were. I'm afraid it's not like that much now. But this is how we were. This is what Prabhupada gave us. He gave us his spirit. Alone. No idea what will happen. Nowhere to stay. Nowhere. Amita had given me an address of somebody who was a folk member of some people. I phoned them up when I got here, and they said, okay, you can stay overnight with me. They came and picked me up in the town center, and I stayed with them. And I ended up staying 2 weeks. We got on so well together. They got initiated, both he and his wife, eventually. And Krishna and his plan. One friend, this person was an astrologer named Nacho. He later got initiated as Nacho. Mexican. You remember him or not? No. Anyway, maybe gone, but he left his body long. And a professional astrologer, really sweet guy, lived in Washington. Had a friend who was a real hippie. I mean, hippie personified. To call him a hippie was a credit. I mean, he was living in a derelict house in ISKCON Terrace. But not a house, a basement. The rest of the house was not available. The basement, well, there were some other people living there, but they were like, a little bit more sophisticated. He was living in the basement. He was a old friend of Nacho. He said, maybe I can ask him if he can stay there for a while, because the loft attic building room is being vacated in a few weeks, and maybe you can stay there. Anyway, long story cut short, he arranged that. So I went there, and I think that was the most luxurious place I've ever stayed in my life. He had never washed himself or anything else that existed in that place since he moved there. He would eat and not wash the plate. He wouldn't wash the pot. He would just cook. There was no running water. He had to go to a tap in the garden. And he would just use same pot, stuck on the bottom. He would just put beans on top and cook it again. And then the same thing next time round. And oh my God, I couldn't believe what, I mean, this is all I had, I had nowhere else to go. And I determined I was going to try to do something for Prabhupada in Newcastle. Prabhu, anyway, I'll get to that. Oh God, I'm going to go overboard again. It's impossible. How can I do this? You're so cruel. I'm not saying anything. They'll tell me afterwards. Send me a letter afterwards. Anyway, I stayed there for a while, then the top apartment became available. It was a bit of a rent. The old guy who owned the building hadn't been there in 20 years, but he was still some kind of rent. The rent hadn't gone up in 20 years, I don't think. Anyway, I had not a penny to my name, and I was living from day to day, whatever little bits and pieces I could beg. And so the guys, the people, I don't know who they were, they moved out. So I moved in, and this man I stayed with, he lived in Morpeth. John, his name was John and Catherine Lester. He said, okay, he was quite well to do. He was the finance minister for Barrett's, the building company for Europe. His father was the head of the Teachers' Union and the head of the Conservative Society in East Anglia, personal friend of Margaret Thatcher. And he was the Earl, he would have been the Earl of Leicester. His family was a Leicester family. He was well to do. I mean, he himself wasn't, he was just coming up the ranks, but he was very cagey. He new to Krishna consciousness, giving to a cult. His father was dead against it. So anyway, he paid the rent, which was about £10 a week or a month or so. I don't know what it was. It wasn't much anyway. Something. The whole of the road was quite prestigious. There were nice houses, big hotels, different things, and rich people. And it was being rented out as apartments. But this was the one house in the whole street which was a bomb site. It was a derelict house, literally. The street, the stairs were all bent and rickety. Everything. The windows were broken. The windows were all misshaped. There was wind blowing through the windows. Gale force winter winds coming in. The floorboards were like this. It was just like, well, it looked like a bomb had hit around the place. So anyway, we stayed there, and it was there that I started. The first thing that happened was I went to the nearby little supermarket on Jesmond Road. I don't know if it's still there. But I had a shock in my life. I was going up to the stores there. I saw this kind of real scruffy looking guy doing something, buying something. But I recognized him. I thought, wait a minute, who's that? I know that person. He was a Prabhupada disciple who kind of lost it. He was living in people who have nowhere to live, they have this place where they keep them, The DOS house, I don't know what they call it, Stay there free of charge, you have no money, you're just a derelict. Basically, he was a derelict. He became a derelict. I said, Hare Krishna. He looked at me. He said, Hare Krishna, Janananda. Hare Krishna. Raghava, it's you, Prabhu. Where did you go? I hadn't seen him for years now. We left maybe 4 or 5 years ago. It was him. I said, what are you doing? He told me to. I said, oh, come with me. I'll give you prasadam. He came with me, and he moved in with me. He was our first devotee there. And then Bhajanananda, you remember him? He was like another reject, There were two. There was first was Nitai, I can't remember his name. He also left the movement. He'd gone back home to Derby. I got his address, but God knows how. And I hitchhiked down to Derby, found where he was, and convinced him he came and stayed with me too. And then Bhajanananda, who was like, he was a wild man, to say the least, wasn't he? And so he's a nice guy, but he was passionate as one of it. Anyway, he came and stayed with us. He was very instrumental in those days. Greg Berman, Neil Taylor, all these guys came, They were respectable people. Greg Berman was a world famous person. His Anglism, he made amps. And some of the top pop groups in the whole world were using his amps. They were the best amps you could get, amplifiers. But because it wasn't commercial, he would make them himself. It never took off, he kept it low. He had his office in Percy Street. You know Percy Street? I don't know if it's still called Percy. There was a market, it was gone now, long gone. I think the Ulster shopping mall taken it over. Anyway, one after another things happened, and there's millions of things that happened. That's how we started. We would walk down to the market. Was it Big Street Market or something?
Big market.
Big?
No, it's called Big Market, isn't it?
Big
Market.
Big Market. Yeah, we walked down to Big Market every morning and try to beg a few old rotten vegetables and fruits, get a few things, come back and cook what we could. I go to some of the few Indian shops on Westgate Road. There's one I used to walk about 5 kilometres sometimes, just to get some rice and dal and things like that. And we stayed there for a year, over a year, until the place exploded. And that's another story. It's a long story, we can't tell it. And another explosion took place. ISKCON's not all roses. It is, but you know, sometimes it doesn't look like roses. We see thorns instead of roses. It's our vision, you know. The problem is our vision, not what we see. The whole thing is transformation. I mean, we see, oh, this is terrible, how could this happen to me? You know, we have all this crazy perception. We're all so self-centered. What's Christian doing this to me? Why did my Christian do this to me? We get so internal and self-centered sometimes. Anyway, in the beginning of 1982, the GBC Bureau of England, the March of the Micro Festival, decided he had another idea of which way to go, and he disappeared from ISKCON, taking everybody he could take with him. Practically all of his disciples. Do you remember that those days?
I do remember that day.
Yeah, oh, it was a nightmare, you know. Oh my God, was it a nightmare? Oh, it was a nightmare, but it was one of the most memorable and informative experiences of my life in some kind of understanding of relationship and reality of who disciple and so on and so forth. But it was quite something. He left and, you know, I was tucked up here. Actually, that time I was going back and forth to Newcastle. We had about 8, 10 devotees in the temple in Newcastle at that time. Temple, if you want to call it. We had 2 floors by then. About 8 of us were living there. We got the other one downstairs. And the guy in the basement died, I think. We weren't using that. But anyway, we had 2 floors. But I was looking after Glasgow Temple at the time also, in Sauchiehall Street. Because Danavir, who was the president at the time, Danavir Goswami, had gone to India for a few months. So yeah, I was caretaking that back and forth every week like this. And then I got a call from, in the middle of that, late night, actually, believe it or not, it was from Balabhadra. He was down at the manor at that time. He was looking after the manor. And Balabhadra phoned me and said, Haribol, down on the river. And he was like, he was shaking on the phone. I could almost feel the phone shaking. It was like quite late at night. And he said to me, I said, what's wrong, man? What's wrong? He said, the big man blew it. He blew it. Give me this. He blew it. He blew it. He blew it. But he blew the candle out. What did he do? He's gone. He blew it. And then he filled me in. And so in the middle of the night, I made a plan. Lucky that weekend I had all the Newcastle devotees up there, because I said the Newcastle temple had a little bit of a problem with an explosion. So we all went up there for that. And we were all up in Glasgow. There were about 12 of us up there. 11, 12. And we had 2 vehicles, so I didn't want to do. I was borrowing Danavir Maharaj's Volvo estate, so it's quite big. And I just piled as many clothes as I could. Somehow they convinced them. I drove them all down to London by the middle of the night. You know, and they may not be talked about. These are truths which build the strength of a movement. We drove down all night, you know, from Glasgow down to the manor. And I've got about 8 devotees in the back of that car. 2 or 3 of them were in the back in the stage place. You know, packed in like sardines. The rest I couldn't take, and unfortunately I selected because I knew some of them. Jai Tirtha decided to leave ISKCON, or all the disciples, and tell them all to leave. So, you know, I had, anyway, somehow we got there, and boom, it happened.
We were at Chaitanya College at the
Well, it was, yeah, Chaitanya College had an equal bomb going at the same time. It was so systematic. We can learn how to organize if you want to get out of here. There's a very good system of getting out. You guys were expert with getting out of there. Anyway, we learned so much. I'm just saying that because This is what it was like, what the boys had to go through, like the Sheshri and others, and tolerated all these things. There was nobody left. The daily worship stopped at the manor. All there was a fruit offering going on, dressing, everything stopped. You know, I remember seeing, what's her name? Not Ramadan. Huh? No, Asta Shakti. Asta Shakti. I just got there with all these devotees, and everything was gone. And Asta Shakti came in. She came up. Oh, she didn't know what was going on. No one told her. She was like, screamed. Oh, what's going on? That's a nightmare. She couldn't believe it. The person doing the arti put everything down and walked off the altar. The devotee in the kitchen turned off all the kitchen utensils and walked out the kitchen. The first person I saw came up to me was a Bhakta. In fact, he made him a door. He said, if you try to stop me, your head's off. That's where craziness can come in. Crazy things. These things we don't talk about, but everybody else is.
Absolutely. We were left at Chaitanya College, my husband and I, with, so when everybody left, there was my husband and I left at Chaitanya College with 80 children in the ashram. We just had to carry on. That's all you can do in those times, you carry on. You're better at this than me.
No, no. You said everything in one line. I take 500 lines. You can't imagine, can you? I mean, you can't imagine. You think you got problems? Somebody's giving you a little hard time, they didn't agree with you. Isn't it? You make an international issue of it. Put it all over the social media. Try to get the guy arrested for life or better executed. Isn't it? We don't seem to have that appreciation of it. And we forget what Prabhupada gave us. We forget what he went through to make this movement possible. We sometimes sit around, everything's great, blah, blah, blah. Fantastic. But understand what hardships, what austerity has gone on behind the scenes, the tolerance. And this is all Srila Prabhupada's tolerance. His mercy. There's no one, and then probably we'll never hear of anyone more loving and tolerant than Srila Prabhupada. More compassion. How to tolerate all that? We know, but many of us couldn't. None of us could in one sense. But as Rasheshwarati said, what can you do? Especially you have 80 children in the school, you have to carry on. Hare Krishna. Well, I'm going to knock off there. That was the end of Aikenside Terrace, and there's millions of things in between. The place literally went up, bang, in the middle of the night. Way up 2 apartments. The one downstairs was empty. Actually, at that time there were some visiting devotees. People Moya was one of them. And they went down to London that weekend, but somehow they left the water heater on. And it was like February. Everything froze up. It was a tremendously cold winter. February 82, January, February. And they left the thing on. And the water was all frozen, so this heater was on. It was just heating up air. And after the middle of the night, it exploded. Totally. It blew all the windows out. Blew the floorboards flew up. The bathroom, you couldn't recognize it, and it was just, everything was just bits and pieces blown everywhere. The whole place was like, on the floor, there was still a guy staying downstairs with his girlfriend, the ceiling collapsed on top of their bed. Poor guy, in the middle of the night. We were lucky, because somehow upstairs we just sort of boom, and the shit, there was like an earthquake, the floor started shaking, and windows went smash, you know. And I got up, we all of us woke up, and after the boys had gone down to the manor festival or something, we woke up and what happened? I opened the door, it was like this. The electricity didn't work, nothing worked. Steam coming, it was like a steam cloud. I got a torch, right downstairs. And I saw the door on the floor of the apartment downstairs, you know. It's like, dust and smoke and steam everywhere. It was like, what's going on? It was unreal. Anyway, that was that. That was the end of our stay in ISKCON Terrace. I read that letter, Alicia, Avatar, that you gave me. I mean, it just triggered off thoughts of dozens and dozens of things. And in one sense, it's nice to write a little book about these things, you know. It helps us to feel the spirit behind the movement, you know. The spirit which Prabhupada gave us and still is giving me. If you want to join us tomorrow, I have to go to Durham. Can we go to Durham tomorrow? Monday?
Yeah, sure.
I don't say you, but I mean, it's okay to go. Perfectly okay, no problem. So our little group's going to Durham on Harinam tomorrow. I've got 2 appointments in Harinam as well, renewing my passport and some other business which happens to be in Durham. So, please join us because I don't, 11 o'clock in Durham. Hare Krishna, and taste the nectar of Srila Prabhupada's mission. Hare Krishna. Hey, Mark. He's no timer. Did you go to ISKCON Terrace when I was there?
No, I wasn't here in that
You missed
time.
that era. You came in the next era.
That's right.
Hare Krishna.
89.
Yeah, it was mostly devotional people who, you know, the same as Mark. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Thank you. That's it, I'm finished. The rest is up to you. You have to lock me up for this thing, man. Huh?
Yeah, but we thought maybe it'd be nice to hear some remembrances from Srila Prabhupada, obviously from Sheshri.
Yeah. Yeah, as I said, in my heart of hearts, I feel all these things are remembrances of Srila Prabhupada because I see Srila Prabhupada's hands working even in the negatives. Not that Prabhupada is instigating negativity, there's something we have to go through. You know, a mistake, call it what you like, but that's how we really mature and learn. Don't shy away from it. Don't deny it. You know, there's been lots of mistakes, if you want to measure them like that. But what is it all for? I mean, God, we don't belong in this world. This world's like a dream world. You have to wake up. It's all part of waking up. It may take a few more dreams. But it's all part of the waking up process of getting off this body platform of identification. And, you know, being so effective because we're body identifying by what's going on in the material world around us. Everyone's in the same boat. Don't think it's just us. But our business is to get out of this world. Our business is to wake up. Our business is to see Krishna. And how you do that in this world is to try to see whatever happens in our life with Krishna's hand working. Don't think it's somebody else is your enemy. Nobody is our enemy. Nobody is our friend in this world. We may feel like that because of body identification, karma, and so on. But nobody is our friend and enemy in this world. Only those who wake us up are our friends. Everyone else is another, dreamer. We're dreaming we've got friends and enemies and so on. And those who are actually conscious, Krishna conscious, are not dreaming like that. They're trying to wake us up to our reality. Whatever happens is just a part of that dream. So the process of Krishna consciousness is a waking process. It may not happen immediately, but that's what it is. It's not a joke. It's not a religion to give you a good dream. Religion's basically to give you a good dream. Make your dream good. Isn't it? Basically. Have a good dream. And everybody has an idea of what good dream is. It varies from person to person. But nobody knows exactly what's going to happen. But that's what their idea is. This is not a dream. Prabhupada is bringing the reality. But to bring reality into a dream is not easy. We've been dreaming too long. So Prabhupada, well, I'll just end on one final note. You may know this, but in 1977, when Srila Prabhupada was health was almost finished, physically speaking. So he decided, Tamal Krishna Maharaj particularly was suggesting also to go to the Western world. Prabhupada wanted to. He wanted to come to the West because he was feeling so much appreciation for his disciples. In 1977, from about April onwards, we were on you were there. You must remember, you may have had a school to look after, you wouldn't have had much time. But we were on like a non-stop book marathon. Non-stop practically. 7 days a week. Minimum 8 to 12 hours a day on book distribution. Everyone who was available. And that was going on in most of the Western world of ISKCON. And Devote was just thinking this is the best way to please Prabhupada and convince Krishna, convince Prabhupada, whatever it is, but keep Prabhupada with us. We would hardly entertain the idea that Prabhupada would leave the world. We couldn't really entertain, couldn't think of it. We just focused on what we felt was Srila Prabhupada's greatest desire. That went on right to the end of the year, actually. But in August 77, Srila Prabhupada in Germany, France, England, America, Australia, everywhere he goes without doing like this. So we were at that time at a massive competition to distribute most books. And many times England was on top in terms of number of books distributed. 20,000 Bhagavad Gita's in a week, at least, maybe more. And Prabhupada decided to come to the West, but he only came to London. He had a plan. Prabhupada's desire, and this isn't a joke. Some people write it off as if it's just a figment of imagination or just a sentimental idea. Prabhupada's idea was to come to the Western world, yes, to reciprocate the love of his followers. And that sacrifice in the spirit of his mission. But he also came to the West to establish what he considered to be an essential feature of the future of the international society for Krishna consciousness. Now this point, which is interesting, was in Prabhupada's initial constitutional document. He did not make it into the incorporation document. He wanted to establish the Vedic system of Varna Ashram. It's in the Prabhupada's document, but it didn't make it in the incorporation. Varna Ashram. He said, I want to go. And I tell you, when I picked him up, I drove him from the airport to the temple, from Heathrow Airport to Manor. And Prabhupada was hardly able to speak. His body was, you would not believe how anyone could live in that body. Even at that stage, it looked like this, he was practically bedridden. The last thing would be to travel to the rest of the world to spread the message. And Prabhupada through Tamal kept asking questions about cows. It was quite an eye-opener because I didn't know much about the cows. How much importance, and this was the prelude to his conversations in the manner in his room, discussing Varna Ashram. And he said, I want to go to Gita Nagari in America. This is a fact. You can ask any of his servants. I want to go to Gita Nagari in America and show you how to do this, how to do it. He didn't go. Krishna had another plan. But we can't deny the fact that this was Srila Prabhupada's desire. And so there's an awful lot to do still. We don't know how it will unfold. Again, it will unfold with the right spirit behind it. It's not a mechanical exercise. It is a spirit of consciousness. And Krishna will reveal everything. That's my take on it. As we actually, not just we want to impose such a system on society, but a natural, harmonious system of living, simple living, high thinking, that got into the incorporation document, but not the details behind it. So that principle is something which, a legacy, which maybe future generations will have the privilege to undertake, I hope so. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Oh, one last issue, last thing, 77, a memory. And something which Westerners and even ISKCON devotees have not applied. When Prabhupada had his last Vyasa Puja ceremony at the manor, he was coming down every morning for daily greeting. First he stayed for Guru Puja, then he stopped staying. He said he couldn't bear the emotional love of his disciples during the Guru Puja. It was too overwhelming him. So he would go back to his room after daily greeting. But that morning, of his Vyasa Puja, he stayed down in the temple, sat on his Vyasana, back to Vedanta Manor. Tamal Krishna Maharaj delivered only verse then. It was like an astonishing speech about Prabhupada's life and mission. Stunning. I don't know if it was ever recorded. I don't know. Maybe. But it was a stunning speech. Occasionally Prabhupada would interject, either correct or add to something which he said. And I happened to be sitting very close, for one reason, I can't remember why, but I was sitting very close to the Vyasasana. And very close when, after that was well said and done, the ladies brought in a birthday cake for Prabhupada. You know, still do that, I think. And they used to put, I don't know if you still do, put candles on the cake. And usually the number of candles represents your age, isn't it? Especially when you're a kid. Do you get a cake and a candle? Sometimes? Yeah. So kids, they like that. They blow the candles out, right? Usually. Anyway, the cake came in. And I heard a whisper in Prabhupada. How many candles? 81, Shiva Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, no, 82. Bring another candle. 82. Prabhupada always go like that. Always. And if you look at it from Western perspective, 81. But Prabhupada, no. I just read today, he said, I'm an old man, 76, but he was 74 by Western standard, just coming to his 75th Western birthday. Your first birthday is your first birthday. You ever think about that? When you're born, that's your first birthday, isn't it? Isn't it? Logic? So that's, when you go after 1 year, that's your, if you're celebrating, that's your second one. It's just simple logic as you could get. But nobody gets it. Nobody. They talk about, oh, it must be because you were in the womb for 9 or 10. That's not at all true. First birthday is your first birthday. This is your 87th birthday, not 81st. Different logic. The Prabhupada had that. Most of Asia used to work like that. And it still does. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I'm going to move, because otherwise I'll keep grabbing the mic. I've committed enough offences as it is, I don't want to. At least not today. You're okay, you're going to recover from that?
Absolutely. I'm actually thinking that we should just scrap mine and let you carry on.
Yeah, I'm going. I'm going. I'll move and share.
Okay, so follow that, and that's how I feel at the moment. How on earth do we follow that? Maharaj, I've been following you for years, and I hope to follow you for many, many more. But I actually was asked to speak a little bit about interaction with Srila Prabhupada, and I have to admit, as I've said before, I have very little in my devotional life. I only actually saw Srila Prabhupada in person 3 times. The first time at Rath Yatra in 1973, when Srila Prabhupada actually danced the whole way from Marble Arch to Trafalgar Square. The second time was at Bhaktivedanta Manor in '74, and the third time was during Srila Prabhupada's final visit to Bhaktivedanta Manor in '77. But what I really wanted to do today was just to share a pastime that shows Srila Prabhupada's absolute faith, which Maharaj has been talking about. There's no ifs, no buts, no anything. It's solid, absolutely solid. And I know there are lots and lots of examples of this, but this is one that it didn't involve Srila Prabhupada directly, but it involved Mother Jamuna. I was living at Bhaktivedanta Village, which was the Gurukul in Three Rivers in California. And at the time I was feeling very, very homesick.
Do you know when this was?
It was, let me think, 84, 85. It was in the 80s, after we'd left Chaitanya College. And Jamuna was actually living in London, in England at the time, and she came to stay, and she stayed with me, and I was telling her how homesick I was feeling it. So she sat down one evening and she told me lots of stories, Srila Prabhupada's pastimes, and this one was the one that affected me most deeply, just because, as I say, it shows Srila Prabhupada's absolute faith, which I've never had. Even now, when I set out to do something, I wonder, will it be all right? Will it work? Will it do this? Will we do that? Not with Prabhupada. He had such absolute faith in Krishna that whatever, it would happen. However, Ranshore Prabhu tells it much better than I do, so if you'll bear with me just for a few minutes, I'll read this. It's regarding, we're going back to the 2nd of December 1969 in Berry Place, and everybody's panicking because they're like me and they're thinking, goodness knows what's going on here. We have no deities. We're supposed to open in 2 weeks, and there are no deities. There's no sign of any deities. What on earth are we going to do? But Srila Prabhupada, he absolutely knew what we were going to do. And this is a very favorite pastime of mine, which shows that. So, Janaki took a phone call. A Hindu gentleman named Gayal called to say he had 3-foot-tall white marble deities of Radha and Krishna at his home, which might be suitable for a temple. He wanted Prabhupada to come and see them. Janaki told Mukunda, who drove to Mr. Gayal's house with Tamal Krishna. There they saw the most perfect images of Radha and Krishna they had ever set eyes on. Krishna had a bluish cast and fine vertical lines on his forehead. Radha smiled by his side. They rushed back to Baker Street to tell Prabhupada. Bring my coat, he said. With Shamsundar driving and Tamal Krishna and Mukunda riding in the back, Prabhupada set off for the temple, in the temple van, to Mr. Gayal's house in Stratford. The East London Hindu Society had ordered deities from India, but the tip of Radha's finger had been chipped in transit. And according to Orthodox Hindu tradition, this meant they could not be worshipped. Mr. Gayal, the temple secretary, had them at his home. They were shown into the living room. There in the corner stood the deities, covered by cloth. Mr. Gayal wanted to reveal them straight away, but Prabhupada sat in a relaxed mood and began a long, cordial conversation with him. They talked in Hindi, and soon they were laughing while Prabhupada's disciples sat in silence. An hour went by, and Prabhupada's foot started vibrating up and down, which happened when he got excited. All at once, he was telling one joke after another, and they were all laughing together. Then suddenly he got up. "Let us see them," he said. The cloth was removed. Shamsundar gasped, but Prabhupada betrayed no emotion. "Do you think your temple can use them?" asked Mr. Gayal. "Yes, I think we can," replied Prabhupada in a very non-committal way. Then he turned to Shamsundar, "Can you lift Krishna?" And to Tamal, "Can you lift Radha?" They each took hold of the figures and raised them carefully. They were solid marble and extremely heavy, but the two young men appeared to lift them easily. Then each one, "Take, and we'll go. Thank you very much." Mr. Gayal appeared to be changing his mind. We'll bring them round to the temple in a few days," he stammered. "That's all right, we can manage. We have our own transport." Shamsundar, Tamal, "Take them out to the van. Go on ahead." Mr. Gayal anxiously watched Krishna leaving as Prabhupada kept talking in Hindi. All of a sudden, they were outside, carefully placing the deities in the back of the vehicle and climbing in with them, while Shamsundar closed the doors and got into the driver's seat. Prabhupada emerged from the house in a convivial mood, shaking hands with Mr. Gayal and smiling. But wait, Mr. Gayal was protesting. "It's all right, we'll look after them," Prabhupada assured him. And he got into the van too. "Now, drive," he said to Shamsundar. Off they went, Tamal and Mukunda, clutching the deities to make sure they didn't fall over. Shamsundar drove until they were out of sight. Then Prabhupada told him stop. He got out. He went round to the back of the van and opened the doors. And there, in the road, in the middle of London, he fell down, palms together, and recited prayers from the Brahma Samhita. "Govindam Ari Purusham Tamaham Bhajami," he sang softly. "Now Krishna has come." They were stunned. How had this happened? As they carefully drove back, Prabhupada was thoughtful. "Prabhupada, I think you've kidnapped Krishna," Mukunda ventured at last, breaking the silence. Prabhupada chuckled. "In my householder days, I had a scheme to borrow money from the bank, but the bank manager refused. So I talked to him for a long time and convinced him. He said, 'Mr. Day, you should have been a politician.'" At Berry Place, Jamuna was waiting for their return, watching from Prabhupada's window. She saw the van pull up and the rear doors fly open. Out climbed the devotees, carrying the deities, and Prabhupada followed. As they brought them upstairs to his room, he entered, saw Jamuna waiting, and beamed at her. "Your marble Radha and Krishna have come. Put them in the corner, cover them with cloth." Then he sat down with a huge smile on his face, his eyes sparkling. "Krishna wanted to come here all along. He's played a great trick. We were searching everywhere for him, but he was waiting for us. Mr. Gayal made so much effort to bring Krishna here for his Hindu center, but all the time, Krishna wanted to come to us. This chip on Radha's finger was just Krishna's trick. He instructed Jamuna to put a curtain around the deities. I will give you the key to my room. Only you will come here. Now, you prepare everything. And then he left and went back to his apartment in Baker Street. What we've been talking about a lot is that absolute knowledge that Srila Prabhupada had. And if we endeavor, as we've seen through so many stories, then by Krishna's mercy, it will happen. But for myself, there's still always doubt. But we have that example from Srila Prabhupada. And just to finish, there's a picture that I want to share with you. If the technology will allow it. Okay. This picture was taken in 1966 when Srila Prabhupada was preparing the incorporation for ISKCON. And this was what he had: a storefront and 3 hippies. What I see when I see that picture is totally different from what Srila Prabhupada saw. As I say, I see 3 hippies who are, nice guys. Srila Prabhupada saw a worldwide international movement. And that's the difference between my vision and Srila Prabhupada's vision. But we have to endeavor to have that special vision. Srila Prabhupada, ki
So what I would say is it's hard to pack so much into an afternoon, but probably during Prasadam, devotees may have questions. Maybe you may want to ask Risheshri or Maharaj, things like that. We can find out some more. Of course, today we had a plan, and the plan's kind of gone out the window.
Well, if you had the windows closed, you could open them.
Yeah, that's right. I shouldn't have opened the windows. That's why the plan went out the window, yeah. Man proposes, God disposes. So, Ramananda was also going to speak, but I'm just wondering, should we have like a 5-minute kirtan first, just to because you've been sitting down listening for a long time? Are we ready for, should we have a 5-minute kirtan first? And then we'll come on. Okay, so everyone stand up. You've been sitting down for a long time.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare
Okay, so that was just a little sneak preview. Thank you, Goran Nataraj Prabhu. That was a little sneak preview, a little warm-up for the kirtan that we're going to be having very soon. But please, let's have 3 loud Haribos for Ramananda Prabhu. Okay, please give him a warm welcome on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Haribo! 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 I thought we were going to do it in unison. Okay, please.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnanam Charashalakaya Chakshuram Malitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shumati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Sundari Vastichari Shukare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So I'm really not sure how this is gonna work because I had a whole sort of plan for what I was gonna share and try to say something about, but like really inappropriate that I'm following on no please I need to present but actually
This is really your problem. You never met him. But you're following him. Fire. Living it. Please carry on.
that it kind of ties into what I've got a whole list that I'm saying, and as I'm adding. Oh, I need to say this. And actually, this is very, very unplanned. What I'm going to say now. Both of you is that the psychic predicted and drown rogue or even lame, invalid or blind. So Chaitanya Charitamrita makes this very bold and clear declaration. This isn't something that Lord Chaitanya is hoping will happen. This is something that will happen. The Krishna consciousness movement will sweep through the whole world. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's Krishna. He's Radha Krishna Nahiyanya. He's Tita Gaura Hari. He is the most munificent incarnation. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Gaura Trisena. O most munificent incarnation, you are Krishna himself, appearing as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and you have come to deliver pure love of Krishna to everyone. Like we were discussing this morning, in previous ages, when so much more qualified people than we could ever even hope to be, people living in sattva gun, people embodying the principles of sadhana and sattva, goodness, austerity, truthfulness, they would take their own lives to God, to bhakti, And through that dedication, they would attain the Lord in Vaikuntha. And here we are in Kali Yuga. Such a fallen age. In this age of Kali, people live short lives, they are lazy, quarrelsome, always disturbed. Actually paints a very, very heavy picture of what Kali Yuga is. It paints a very heavy picture indeed of Kali Yuga. And in this very funny, when you look at the paintings from Srila Prabhupada books, especially the ones that were done in the 1970s, they're almost comically over the top in their depiction of Kali Yuga. You know, it would be like brothel here, and slaughterhouse there. You know. It was just the most awful picture of Kali Yuga that you could possibly imagine. And it was always black, dark, and covered in black smoke. This was the depiction of Kali Yuga that Srila Prabhupada actually approved of through his artists in the Srimad Bhagavatam. But then when you see these pictures up at the top, there is Krishna. And there is the Srimad Bhagavatam. And the effulgence coming from Krishna, from Goloka Vrindavan, shining through the pages of the Srimad Bhagavatam and giving light in Kali Yuga. So Lord Chaitanya has come in this very, very, very sinful time, this very sinful age. And to the most unqualified, the most sinful people, he's giving the highest possible benediction, which was not even attainable by those great sages of previous ages, who were so much more qualified than we will ever hope to be. And the process by which one can come to that destination. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If you can just remember 3 words. You don't need to remember the whole Bhagavad Gita or the Srimad Bhagavatam. You don't need to chant all these mantras and know all these mudras and all these different yagas. Hare Krishna Rama. And you do that, you can go to Goloka Vrindavan. Now, we're actually reading today that Prabhupada refers to the great devotee of Lord Chaitanya. As much as one can devote his full attention to the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya, to that extent he will be able to taste the nectarine service of the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani in Vrindavan. The more one engages in the service of Sri Chaitanya, the more one finds himself in Vrindavan tasting the nectar of the service of Sri Radha. So this Krishna consciousness movement, this is a mission. It is a mission. Lord Chaitanya is descended to the material world. Sri Chaitanya Mano Krishnam Stukam Utale Swayam Rupa Gadamaya Nati Swapadantika. Established within the material world the mission of Lord Chaitanya, giving shelter at his lotus feet. So Lord Chaitanya came, he's given the process, he's given the teaching, he's given the philosophy, he's given the mercy. And then Rupa Goswami has taken all of that and he has established the mission. And then throughout the group Parampara, different acharyas have contributed to that mission. And Srila Lochandas Thakur, in one biography of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called Chaitanya Mangalam, he describes how Lord Chaitanya said, I stand my for all the sinful entities, all the sinful living entities, well, all to obtain travel all around the world. And what that is the international stage. Is that what the things and politics and technology and so-called material advancement, the world is not going in a positive direction. And we may make so many plans, and in one sense we should. A person make plans has to, our children just need to go to school, need to get an education, need to go to the we give up your And Lord Chaitanya is so merciful. You know, here we are, we're so fallen, we're so unqualified, and yet He's giving us this opportunity to take part in this mission. And what is the result of that opportunity? We take, by serving Lord Chaitanya, we taste the love of Radha, and we go to Him despite our lack of qualification. You know, what right do you have to say anything? Yeah, it's inappropriate to speak after exalted souls like this. You know, you go to a rock festival, you know, and you wait for the headliner to come on, and then you see the headliner, you know, the support acts they can follow that. But I think what is appropriate is that is that we have to turn to his disciple, and rather than offering words of support and don't think this isn't going to happen to you. Srila Prabhupada did depart from the world physically. He's present eternally in his instructions, in his mission, in his blessings. But physically he did depart from the world. And the thing that we don't like to think about and the thing that we don't like to talk about is that one day Srila Prabhupada's disciples will also depart from the world. Every single one of them. And we have to keep that mission going. We have to keep the books going out. We have to keep the holy names going out. We have to inherit. We're not just inheriting a building. One day, temple presidents will no longer be here, and someone will inherit the responsibility of maintaining ISKCON Newcastle.
I'm only 46.
Last October I was in Mayapur. And the reason I was in Mayapur is because a really dear friend of mine who I grew up with and who we became devotees together, Gauranganam Prabhu. He had departed from the world not long earlier, and we took his ashes to Mayapur. Now, I joined in Blackpool this morning. If you haven't been there, please go. Please go. But actually, in the mid-90s, a whole load of us from Blackpool and went to live at our temple in Scotland. And a lot of us grew together. Now, three of my best friends who I grew up with and who I went with, they've passed away at different times over the last 30 years. One of them when he was in his 30s, one of them when he was in his 40s, and Gauranganam was exactly the same age as me, 2 days older, in his early 50s. And when I went to Mayapur to take his ashes, I took my friend, we went to the Ganges before ceremony for Gauranganam's last rites. And Radhika, as we're walking along, and I've got Gauranganam's ashes in my hands, Radhika is just standing up, he said, it's interesting, isn't it? He said, you all joined together, and he said, Mom died, and then Sita died, and now Gauranganam's died, and as we walk along, walking to the Ganges with my friend's ashes in my hand, and I'm like, you're trying to it's a fact. It's you know, this is the world of birth and death. That you know, Srila Prabhupada, one of Srila Prabhupada's greatest gifts that he gave us is the gift of sobriety and realism. Stop thinking that you're going to live forever and stop living like you're going to live forever. You're not. You're not going to live forever. Stop making plans as if you're going to live forever. You're not. It's a very we're inheriting something incredibly serious, and right now we should be going to these great souls and asking for their blessings and for their mercy to continue that mission. And I made a special note. I've said almost nothing that I plan to say, but I made a special note. I mean, I'm in my 50s now, but you know, at least my days of running around the streets like a Tasmanian devil, he saw it. You know, they're pretty much behind me. I don't have the energy that I had when I was a young man running around Yorkshire and Lancashire and Merseyside and literally every town and village in Scotland distributing Srila Prabhupada's books. I hope I can contribute something to Srila Prabhupada's mission. But one thing I made a note of here, and I think that this is very, very, very important indeed, because it's not just that those of us in our 50s and 60s and 70s should inherit the responsibility of Prabhupada's movement. It's these devotees. We have to empower, encourage, and support the youngest members of the Krishna consciousness movement, those with the energy, those with the passion, those who to actually see how the world works. It's like Chaitanya said before, I'm giving examples. It's like I'm giving examples about bands and movies from the 1980s and 1990s to school kids in the school where I teach, and they're just looking at me like, who? What? You know, they don't. I was in a bookshop, and this was 10 years. Actually, this was about 15 years ago. I was in a bookshop in Glasgow, and two girls were in the sort of aisle next to me, and I could hear them talking. And they were obviously in the section of the bookshop which was like entertainment and music. And I heard one of the girls say to the other, "Oh, the Beatles? I think they were a band, were they?" So we're giving classes to people in their teens and 20s, and we're saying, yeah, like George Harrison, he was a devotee. And they're just going, who? So we need the youngest members of the Christian consciousness movement who know what is going on in the world, who know how social media is, who know how social media works, who knows what's going on in the world, who knows the challenges and the difficulties and the young people today. They're the ones who need to take up the responsibility of spreading the Krishna consciousness movement. And this is a missionary movement, and Srila Prabhupada said, it is the responsibility for every devotee in the Krishna consciousness movement. Not everyone are my disciples, not every temple devotee. I think that the term temple devotee needs to be banned, because it suggests that if someone is geographically situated in a temple, that automatically makes them more sincere, more it's not necessary. Every temple devotee, he said, every member of the Krishna consciousness movement, their responsibility is to learn this art of distributing books and spreading the Krishna consciousness movement. Whether we're a worker, whether we're a temple devotee, whether we're a parent, whether we're a client, whether we're a student, wherever we are in life, every one of us has a responsibility to take this pattern from Srila Prabhupada's disciples and pass it on and keep it going. This work is what you describe. This material world is going to hell, but the Krishna consciousness movement will save it in its darkest hour and will light up the world with pure love and mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is ISKCON. That is ISKCON. And our temples, they are, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, they are embassies. They are embassies of the spiritual world. If we come here and we become part of the mission of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, the members of the Pandita, Srila Prabhupada, if we commit to this mission, to whatever degree we can do, whether it's 1 day a month, 1 day a week, 7 days a week, whatever we're able to do, but if we dedicate ourselves to this mission, we walk into that embassy, passport stamped. Passport stamped, ticket back home. We are not going to live forever. Don't keep putting off surrendering to Krishna, thinking it's something I can do later on. What does surrendering to Krishna mean? Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains, give up those things unfavorable and accept those things favorable. Think yourself meek and humble, depend upon Krishna. Surrendering is not a thing that happens one day when we just suddenly think, you know what? I remember we used to go out, or I used to go out on book distribution, you still do. We used to go out on book distribution and I would be struggling. And someone would say, well, just surrender. Just surrender to Krishna. What does that even mean? Just surrender? Okay, I'm kind of here. I thought I was surrendering to Krishna. I'm chanting Hare Krishna, I'm trying to approach people. I thought I was surrendering to Krishna. What does that mean, just surrender to Krishna? And we kind of have this thing that, well, one day it'll suddenly happen that I'll surrender to Krishna. But surrendering is a process. It's not something that isn't happening 1 second and then we do it the next and that's it. Now I'm surrendered. It's a process. We learn to give up those things that are unfavorable. We learn to accept those things that are favorable. And even that is very subjective. What is favorable for me may not be favorable for you. And that is why we need guru. That is why we need mentors. That is why we need people to help us and to guide us and say, you know, knowing you the way I do, this is the best situation for you. And this is how you could best practice Krishna consciousness. You know, for someone, favorable is become a brahmachari, move into the temple, dedicate yourself 24 hours a day. To someone else, favorable is get married, have 9 kids. That's favorable for some people. So what is favorable is very unique, very individual, because Krishna is a person and we are people. And we're all individuals and we all have our own individual, unique, completely one-of-a-kind relationship with Krishna. So let's empower our children. Let's empower each other. Let us beg for the blessings and the mercy of those devotees who are still with us. And let us actually really inherit ISKCON. Think about it. ISKCON is 60 years old. That means that devotees have been in ISKCON at least 60 years. You know, they've dedicated their lives. You know, now, if we're going to learn by example, we need to figure out how we can dedicate our lives. Celebrating 60 years of ISKCON should involve thinking very seriously about how we are going to inherit ISKCON and how being a follower of Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada was very, very strong about this principle that he is the founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. He wouldn't allow any of his books to be published without that statement being there. His temples all include that. That is, you know, Srila Prabhupada as the ultimate guiding authority at ISKCON doesn't end with Srila Prabhupada's disciples. That is also something we inherit. We inherit his books. We inherit his teachings. We inherit his mission. He is the preeminent Shiksha Guru of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, the founder Acharya, and he is the glue which is holding this whole movement together. If when Srila Prabhupada's disciples are no longer with us, this mission breaks up into, well, this is my guru, this is my guru, this is my guru's mission, this is my guru's project. That is not what ISKCON is about. We may have our guru, we may have our mentor, we may have those devotees who are us, but what is the common factor which is holding us all together, gluing us all together, it is the founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada and his mission, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. There are going to be ups and downs. We are going to make mistakes. But that always happens. Children make mistakes. This movement is still like a child. In the picture of 10,000 years, 60 years, we're barely toddlers. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to mispronounce words. But let's learn those mistakes and let's inherit this mission and let's all become missionaries in the service of Srila Prabhupada. None of this is what I had written down, and I will stop there. But we are asking for the blessings of Srila Prabhupada's disciples that we can become empowered to continue Srila Prabhupada's legacy. Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Prabhupada's disciples ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Sri Sri Panchadeva ki jai, ISKCON ki jai, ISKCON Newcastle ki jai, Nitai Gaura Pramananda.
His Grace Ramananda Prabhu ki jai. So, yes, man proposes, God disposes, man plans, God plans, man's plans. So we're not going to have time for the quiz, but well, I think it's 10 to 6. We're still going to have the kids out, and we're also going to take the shadow. Is there any enthusiasm for the quiz? Yeah. So what I was going to say is, but the one question I am going to ask you for 1,000,000 points, what was the name of the ship? Jaladuta. So they were listening. Jai. When was Sri Prabhupada born? 1966. 1966 or 1896? When was ISKCON incorporated? Okay, anyway. Srila Prabhupada one time said, he said that my books are simply word jugglery to convince us to chant Hare Krishna. So, we've now reached the conclusion. We've had a lot of word jugglery. No, I'm being reductive. It's been really nice to hear. But actually the result of hearing, the Shravana, then what comes next? Shravana, Kirtan. So the result of hearing should then be chanting. So a lot of hearing. So now let's put it into practice. Are we convinced that chanting Hare Krishna is the ultimate goal of life? Yeah. There you are. Okay, that's good. I was going to say, let's make an experiment. Let's give ourselves wholeheartedly to chanting and dancing. It's not just chanting, but it's chanting and dancing and feasting. So on that note, we're going to ask everyone. Yeah. Well, I'll do that now.
Sorry, I should have done this before, but I actually feel this is very important because blessings are really, really powerful. Blessings and good wishes of Vaishnavas are a very powerful thing indeed. All those in this room who are 20 years old or younger, stand up. This is not to minimize anyone who's 21 or 22. But we should all actually consciously dedicate our blessings, good wishes, to the future of the Krishna consciousness movement and ask them to please take Srila Prabhupada's movement.
Wave them about like you just don't care. No. Aim them like a radar at these devotees, and you can give your blessings by chanting Hare Krishna as loud as possible. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada, ISKCON 60th Anniversary Mahamahotsav K. 30 years of ISKCON Newcastle in this building K. Going on for another 25? Oh, come on, think big. The next 10,000 K. Okay, so if everyone would like to stand up, please, let's put all our cushions to the back. Generally, we have the men on this side, we have the ladies on this side, and we are going to sing and dance.
Thank you, bro.
Hey, show me a photo. Okay. I don't want to leave you as a
Krishna Krishna Hare Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Thank
Jayam Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Parivraja Acharya Astal Tarasada Sri Shumat Abhay Charanada Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON Vivitikanda Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Sri Guru Parampara Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Hamsika Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shiva Sadi Gauda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamkun Radhakun Shri Giri Govardhan Ki Shri Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Shri Mayapur Navadik Dham Ki Shri Nilachal Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Rangamaya Munamaya Ki Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi Ki Prihat Badanga Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Shri Harinam Sankirtan Yogya Ki Transcendental Prashadam Distribution Ki ISKCON 60th Anniversary Mahamahotsav K! Nitai Gaur Premanande! All glories to the Assembled Devotees! All glories to the Assembled Devotees! All glories to the Assembled Devotees! All glories to the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga! All glories to Srila Prabhupada! Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay, settle down just for the last few minutes, if everyone can just sit down. We just have a couple of thank yous and a couple of announcements. So just take a seat just for a moment, please. Unless you're helping to set up Prashadam, otherwise please just take a seat. I feel like a teacher now. You have to, you look at everyone and wait till everyone's fingers on lips. Fingers on lips. Okay, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay, if I can just have your attention, I know it's been a very long afternoon. It's been a long day for those of you who've been here since Mangalati, and it's also very hot. We're hot and sweaty. But we wanted to say a few thank yous because these festivals, believe it or not, don't just happen on their own, like the Big Bang, you know? The universe just came about by a Big Bang, you know? So these festivals just come out, we throw a bomb in the temple room. No, there's a lot of time and energy and thought, blood, sweat and tears that goes into these festivals. But first we would like to say a big thank you to our special guests. So we'd like to say thank you to His Holiness Janananda Goswami. We'd like to say thank you to Rasheshwari Mataji, and we'd like to say thank you to Ramananda Prabhu. So please can we show our guests some love? Give them a big Hare Krishna. 1, 2, 3. We'd like to show some love to the garland team. Lots of garlands had to be made today. So in no particular order, Danishta, Novi, Vrinda, Savitri, Devi, Lakshmi Singhapriya, Nikunja Nandini, and Kamud. Let's hear it for the garland team. For the cooks.
So to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, we've decided to do an international feast. So our qualified cooks were asked to either bring a traditional ISKCON preparation or a traditional preparation from where they're from. So we've got loads of flags that turned up. We've got India, England, we have Belarus, Mauritius, we have France, France and Austria as well, and some really classic traditional ISKCON prashad were made as well. So in no particular order, we would like to thank Her Grace Rasheshwari Prabhu's for Kachori. A big Haribol to our dear Rasheshwari Mataji. And to my Guru Priya Mataji. We've got John Prabhu, we've got Keshava Murti, Sharan Krishna Prabhu, Mamtara, Vrinda, Ramai, Lakshmi Singha Priya, Kumar Mataji, Savitri, Ramai, Raymond, believe it or not, he went strawberry picking yesterday. So we're going to serve some fresh British grown strawberry as well. So please give them a huge, oh sorry, Basu. How did I miss you out, Basu? And Basu as well, sorry, Basu. Big loud Haribol to all the cooks.
I didn't cook. Looking at me, you're going, Haribol. I didn't cook anything.
Okay, Jagannath Aishri is too humble to say that she also cooked as well, so let's have a Haribol for her cooking too.
I forgot to announce Raj Kumar made an amazing breakfast I heard this morning.
Raj Kumar did indeed make us an amazing breakfast, and it inspired us to go out and...
Who did the breakfast?
Raj Kumar.
Hands up. Oh, that's...
Yeah.
You want to be...
Okay, I think we have a little presentation from the kids quickly to...
We need Mira's slide.
Okay, so just before we do that, so thank you. About 20 devotees went out this morning to go into Newcastle City Centre for our extra special sacred street party. So we distributed 95 prasadam sweets, 31 books, lots of mantra cards, and so thank you everyone who joined us for the sacred
How many
street
mantras?
party.
How many mantras were chanted?
Oh, 2 hours of mantras. Yes,
How
yeah.
many people heard the holy name? How many people saw the holy name?
Well, this is a very interesting point because it's like the tip of the iceberg. So someone may see us and they say they'll go home to their friend and say, I saw the Hare Krishnas today. And they'll be like, what? The Hare Krishnas? And then Jack in the pub will say, the Hare Krishnas, I remember the Hare Krishnas. And then like that, they start their own Namahat, their own Harinam, because then they're telling everyone.
Pictures which go on Facebook and everywhere. Prabhupada said anyone who sees the Harinam party, it's really, they're so blessed that that picture that they have in their consciousness will never go away. Until the death, that picture will be there. And that will assure them, if not go back to God, at least continue in devotional service. So that's the most valuable thing in one sense when they see a Harinam party, because thousands of people in Newcastle saw the Harinam party. And every one of them, their spiritual life has begun or it's continuing on its path. Every one of them. The most auspicious, that's why Sankirtan is the most auspicious activity that exists. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Yagya King! So please join us for the next sacred street party. It's usually the third Saturday of the month. Now over to the future of ISKCON, the kids.
So the children have a little presentation to present. So Mira Sabji will go first. Do you want to go first?
Oh, here he is. He's the ringleader. Look that.
Hare Krishna Maharaji Swari Mataji and Ramananda Prabhu. Welcome to the temple.
Thank you. This is for you, Mother Rasheshwari. It says, Hare Krishna Maharaj Rasheshwari Mataji and Ramananda Prabhu. Welcome to the temple. Thank you. Well, welcome to the embassy.
There's another little word of kindness here.
Dear Janan and Murad, we want to thank you for opening ISKCON Newcastle. It is such a lovely temple, and we have so much fun here. Love from all the children of ISKCON Newcastle.
And to share their love, the children have all drawn you a picture of the temple or Panchatattva. So would you like to give your present? Harry, may I stab you first?
That's the devil here, yeah.
No, that's fine, you've already said it.
Hare Bo.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Hare Bo. Hare Krishna. Panchatattva ki jai.
Harry, that's a few good.
Hare Krishna. Whoa. Look at this. Hare Krishna.
Because she's very shy.
Shy. You're shy, aren't you? He's very shy.
Not when it comes to giving the answers in the classes.
No. Hey, say, I love this. Hare Krishna.
So Nadia Mani here is very shy. She's drawn a picture of Nimai, Nitai, Govardhan Hill and Krishna.
Here we are.
And we've got Radia here. She's drawn a butterfly and a lot of flowers.
Thank you, Raya.
She's sleeping.
Look at that.
And
Lots of flowers. Right, butterflies and flowers.
unfortunately, Gaurav Pran is sleeping over there, so he made a little present as well.
Oh, it's not here.
He's not.
What, can you tell me what it is?
I'm not sure, it was just coming from a spiritual world. So.
You have to have the eyes to see.
Oh, Nadia said it's a spider.
Oh. Okay, that was a friendly one. Spider. Whoa. Be careful, please.
All glories to the future of ISKCON Newcastle. All glories to our children. On the count of three, we're going to say big, loud, Harry Paul for them. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you all very much, gentlemen and ladies, for this wonderful, loving offering for the heart. Thank you all so much. Oh, one more coming. Oh my goodness. Oh, lovely. Thank you. I didn't open this temple, but the original, I guess, we don't do anything, but we started the first ISKCON center in Ingleside. But it's such a this is such a lovely temple, and we have so much fun here. Thank you, children. Hare Krishna. More. What's this? What are you doing?
So, is there anyone who's here for the first time today? Please, can you raise your hands? Anyone here for the first time today? This is not to embarrass you, it's actually, we've got a gift for you. So please put your hands up if you're here for the first time. Thank you. What's your name? Sorry? Sita. Thank you very much, Sita. Thank you. Oh, Sika. Sorry, that's right. Yes, yes. We asked you earlier. Oh, Prabhus, yes. The saffron-clad brahmacharis. And is it Gauranataraj? Welcome. This is your first time, but don't make it your last time. Yeah, thank you. And anyone else who's here for the first time today? Yes, Prabhu. Yes. Tarun Vishwambar Prabhu. And is there anyone? I know. Is there anyone else who's here for the first time today?
First time today, yeah.
Well, maybe we can say thank you to Anchor, and is your wife here, Prabhu? Oh, that's right. Yes, we've already given, and to Anchor as well. They've just arrived here from London. They're originally from Nepal, and they've been here in Newcastle for 3 days. Thank you. So it's not their first time, but Uttama Sudevi. Where's Uttama Sudevi? Okay, so we all know Uttama Sudevi. She's a lovely devotee, but her parents are even nicer devotees. So we'd like to thank and welcome Uttama Sudevi's mum, Nikunja Nandini Mataji. They've got really cool names, and her father, Ravi Pati Krishna. That rolls off the tongue. So thank you. They're here visiting for 2 weeks. Okay. This is yes. Okay. If you'd like to join our WhatsApp group, we have about 500 people on there. We generally post daily pictures, quotes, and things, inspirational things. If you want to join our WhatsApp group, please come and see Vrinda, you can wave. Otherwise, please like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We never charge for these festivals or these events, but anything that you give is most appreciated and most welcome. If you'd like to give a donation, you can either leave something cash in the box, or if you want to leave a contactless card donation, then you can just come and see myself. This is the last announcement, just because there's a few people here today who haven't been before. We'll just hand over to Ramesh, who's going to tell you about something exciting for the youth.
Hare Krishna. Okay, I'll be really quick. Basically, as part of ISKCON Newcastle, we have a youth initiative. This initiative is directed towards young adults, students who are just about to leave high school in sixth form, university, etc. And it's a program that's meant to help you develop Krishna consciousness, get closer to God, and the byproducts of getting better at Krishna consciousness, or gaining Krishna consciousness, is that you get all good qualities. So you become a better person as well. If you're interested in getting involved, please speak to myself, speak with Tanishta Mataji. And otherwise, we have a QR code on the notice board outside, which you can scan and join the Project Sadhu group chat, which is separate from the ISKCON Newcastle group chat. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Yes, let's thank you, Ramesh, for spearheading our youth movement. Okay, so the good news is... Sorry? Quiz, no. The good news is, that's the last of the announcements. So we'd like to thank all of you for coming. Joking aside, one person, I think Kamud said when we said, what is ISKCON Newcastle? She said, ISKCON Newcastle is a family. And we do mean that, you know? So everyone is part of our family here. We all want to try and look out for one another and encourage one another. So please continue to come back and help to make ISKCON Newcastle greater. So we're going to close the curtains in a moment. Oh, actually, yes. No, it's too late now. It's too late. We'd actually like to say Gopabalbi, thank you very much for this beautiful new outfit which she has made and dressed, and also this beautiful backdrop here. So please let's show some love for Gopabalbi and the dressing of the deities. Let's give her a big Hare Krishna. And a beautiful Gora Priya and Oscar for doing the flower vases. Let's show them some love. Okay, the curtain will be open for 2 more minutes, a few minutes. few more minutes if you want to come and take darshan. Otherwise, we're going to be serving prasadam next door. I think they're almost set up there. So we would ask that you can go and queue for a plate, and then you can come back down here and take prasadam. Thank you so much. Yeah. If anyone does want to do the quiz after prasadam, when we've cleared up, we will do the quiz. Srila Prabhupada!